Ready? Okay, at 6:30, I hereby call the meeting of the City of Riverside Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Madam Secretary, Naya, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Pembroke,
Here.
Mr. Cron,
Excuse.
Mrs. Carpenter,
Here.
Mr. Snyder.
Here.
Do we have to have a motion?
I
No.
move we excuse Mr. Crowe.
I second.
Aye. And Mr. Crone is excused. Okay. We got a read ahead copy of the minutes from the last meeting. Any corrections, comments, updates?
I move they be approved as written.
Okay, the meeting with no corrections, the meeting minutes from the last meeting stand approved.
And this who seconded that.
Second.
You pass these down to Naya. Okay, let's get right into it then. So reminder, adjust the microphone to speak directly into it as much as possible. And with that, we'll jump right into our cases. Would the city like to tell us what's going on with BZA case 23-5 at 4918 Airway Road?
I, Naya Holt, affirm that the testimony I am about to give before the Board of Zoning Appeals is correct to the best of my knowledge. This is a variance case at 4918 Airway Road for a fence to allow it to exceed the maximum height of 8 feet. This is a 25% variance. The permitted fence height is 8 feet. They're asking for a 2-foot increase. This is an aerial map of the site. It's outlined in blue. The applicant is reusing this existing building, and the variance area is right here in this section here, where the fence will go just right here. They're coming before you because they are required by the Board of Pharmacy due to their use as a dispensary, a medical marijuana dispensary, to have increased security measures. And part of that is to have a 10-foot fence. You'll see in your staff report, the actual section of code that is required. It's also listed in the attachment as well, the actual section that is required. Here is their site plan. And again, you can see the fence that is going to be installed. They are also going to include panic hardware that will be installed per the fire code on the fence gate. So they will be adhering to the fire code. Here is the front of the subject site. Here is adjacent businesses in Airway Shopping Center, just to give you an idea of the area along Airway Road. This is the area that you will see another fence. And this is residential multifamily. This is the base housing, but of course it's open to the public now. This is the variance area where that fence will go. This is the delivery area, and it needs more security. Again, another view of that variance area. And one more section just looking straight through. So staff does find that the variance is adequately justified and meets the standards of approval. It will not alter the essential character of the area, nor will it impact any other adjacent properties. The spirit of the intent of the code will be observed, and this variance is required because it needs to meet the State Board of Pharmacy's requirements. Now, this is the criteria you need to consider when approving a variance. We've talked about this in all of our cases, but the essential character, whether other properties are going to be affected, the spirit of intent, whether the minimum is being requested, and whether government services will be affected. None of that will be impacted. As I mentioned, fire code will be observed, there have those panic hardware included. And these are some other factors, of course, that should be considered, but are not as pressing as those first four. These are your required actions. Does that meet those standards? And also, you can approve the request, approve with conditions, deny, and if you need more time to consider, continue it to a date certain. Are there any questions? Okay. I can also go back to any of the images if you need it.
Tim, anything, Lisa, anything for the city? Questions?
No.
It's fine.
All right, at 6:36, I'd like to open the public portion then. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak in favor of the application? If not, are you the applicant, sir? Okay, would you like to speak in favor of the application? Okay, please approach the podium there. There should be an oath there for you to read with your name. Please adjust the microphone kind of to your mouth.
I, Joshua Sieber, affirm that the testimony I'm about to give before the Board of Zoning Appeals is correct and to the best of my knowledge. We actually had designed this site for an 8-foot fence, and we had another site in Cleveland where the board let us know that they redid their regulations to go to this 10-foot. So we got ahead of it knowing that we haven't had our inspection yet, but they know that that's what they're going to require. And so they're basically not going to let us open unless we get this 10-foot fence. It's just for our deliveries. We open the gate up, the van comes in, we close the gate. There's 2 armed security guards. We bring our product in, out, close the gate. That's all it's used for. It's in the back of our building. I don't think it really affects any other businesses. And I'm in favor of the variance.
Okay, any questions for the applicant? Lisa?
Is this a chain link fence?
Yes, with slats.
Okay.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Seeing no one else here to speak in favor of the application nor against the application, we'll close the public portion here at 6:37 p.m. Discussion, what do we think?
Open and shut, it looks like to me.
I see no reason not to approve the variance. I think the city laid it out pretty clearly.
I agree.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Are you making it?
Regarding case BZA 23/5, I move to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Naya, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Timbrook,
Yes.
Mrs. Carpenter,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Motion carries. Variance is approved.
Congratulations.
Okay, that was our only case. So we'll move on to zoning administrator discussion topics.
All right. So earlier this week, I did send out a training log. One thing I've been trying to do throughout this year is when we have a light caseload is enter some training topics for you. So I do have one I'll quickly run through tonight. I thought this was appropriate to go over some of our city's fence regulations. We did update our fence code earlier this year. We do have a fence guide that's online for anybody who is watching that they can download and get a quick update on what our fence code says. So there's some common questions we get. Are they required to get a fence permit for a new fence? And you are. How do they apply? You can go to our website. We do have an online permitting process that you can apply for. You can get an aerial map from Google or from the county's auditor site, outline on the property where you want to put that fence and pay the $40 fee, and we can take it from there. We do accept credit cards now, which is a new option this year, and we're moving forward. Even if you are replacing an existing fence, we do require a zoning permit because we need to know that that new fence is going to comply with the new rules. So you're taking down a fence, it may not meet the new standards. So we want to review those changes and make sure that you are still in compliance. So the basic requirements that I'm speaking of are a maximum of a 8-foot fence in the rear and side yard. That can include a privacy fence. It could be a Kentucky Sport Solid fence, chain link fence. That's all permitted in your side and rear yard. Now, when we're talking about a fence in the front yard, it has to have at least 50% transparency and can go up to 4 feet. Now, that is a new thing, as our board will know, because in the past, our code only permitted 3 feet, and they saw a lot of variances because of that.
Mhm.
So with that change, you guys have had a lot less work because allowing that 4-foot fence in the front has made it a lot easier for our residents to just go through the fence permitting process without any extra hoops. However, chain link fences and solid board privacy fences are not permitted. So with some caveats, but just call us to know what those slight changes are, those,
So chain link. 3-foot is accepted.
no. You can have a 4-foot fence. You can have no chain link in the
No
front.
chain-
No. Now, I say some caveats. So if you have in your neighborhood up to 50% of the houses have chain link already, you can apply for a waiver to the planning commission to get a new chain link fence, but you have to go through an extra review process. So that's the only way you can get it. So there is a extra step.
Yeah,
If you
because we
wanna-
did have a couple of those
Mhm.
cases.
Yeah, where they've had a whole bunch of chain link in their neighborhood. So there is a way to do that and have chain link
Oh,
in the
good.
front, but there's a
Yeah.
step. So I would encourage people to talk to us first before they just go and put chain link in the front yard. So that's why I would just say no chain link or solid board in the front without talking to us first, because we would have to review it case by case. Another thing is that finished side of the fences have to go up. So that means the good side has to go outward towards the street or towards your neighbor. And what that finished side is, these are all examples of what that looks like, what a finished side is. Those posts that hold up your fence, that's the unfinished side. So I just wanted to show examples of what that looks like. We want that side on the inside towards your property. Now, corner lots are always the trickiest thing. A lot of variances come before us because in our code, a corner lot has 2 front yards. Anything between the house and the street is considered a front yard, and they can only have a fence up to 4 feet. Another thing is they have a clearance zone. So the area between here is considered the clearance zone, and that can only be 3 feet, which is something I know you guys probably haven't seen a lot, but that includes this whole diagonal 30 feet here. There are no trees, shrubs, signs, fences, nothing there can be taller than 3 feet. We want that to be clear so people turning, pedestrians walking, so someone turning can see a pedestrian without being hit. We don't want any hazards there. So that's something to know when you're building a fence. It can't go all the way up to that corner. And finally, when you are installing a pool for the safety of, anybody coming to visit you, there needs to be at least a 48-inch fence around that pool, but we will review that with with the pool permit. So those are some things to note with anybody out there. Quick things to know about fences in the city of Riverside. So if you have any questions, give us a call, 937-233-1801, and we will be happy to answer those fence questions that you all are burning to ask.
They come up a lot.
They do. And one more thing to continue training, the annual Sinclair Planning and Zoning Workshop is December 1st. If you are planning to go or would like to go, it is all day. Lunch is provided, 8 to 3.
I went last year and it was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
And
Good.
you can attend whatever you want.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just indicate what you'd like to go to. So
Mhm. Yep, so just let me know. There's gonna be mobile workshops along Salem Avenue. I'm going to be giving one that covers some of the One Riverside comp plan, starts at 2:30. So, yeah. Put you down.
All right, any other matters by the board? I don't think so. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
All right.
aye. At 6:46.